Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news as we step into 2026. The Cleveland Browns are once again at a pivotal moment, and the storyline surrounding the quarterback position is as intense as ever. The team has just finished an important game that could influence their draft positioning and future roster decisions, but the real focus now shifts to what's next. Browns have glaring needs across the board, but nothing seems more pressing than finding stability and consistency under center. This offseason, the questions are flying. Will Cleveland look to the top prospects in the upcoming NFL draft? Or will they roll the dice with what they already have, specifically with Shedeur Sanders, who's been showing flashes of potential? More importantly, what's the deal with Deshaun Watson? These questions are shaping the Browns' future and keeping fans on the edge of their seats. Looking at the roster, it's clear that Cleveland isn't just shopping for a backup or a developmental project. They need someone who can step in and contribute immediately. The draft is one route, but the team's eyes are also on the veteran market, which could be a more realistic and strategic move. As of now, Deshaun Watson's future with the Browns remains a hot topic. His contract still has one more year on it, which technically means he's still under team control for 2026. The question is whether Cleveland will try to trade him before next season or keep him in the fold, especially considering his recent struggles and the hefty paycheck he commands. The reality is, with his contract, Watson is unlikely to be released or traded unless a team steps up and makes a compelling offer. And right now, the market isn't exactly clamoring for a quarterback with his recent track record. Let's assume, and this is a big assumption, that Watson stays on the roster through the offseason and into the next year. If that happens, he'll be competing for the starting job in training camp, as he's still the most experienced quarterback on the roster. The Browns need to be prepared for the possibility that Watson, despite his past struggles, could be the guy under center for Week 1 of the 2026 season. This scenario isn't far-fetched anymore, especially given how the Browns finished the season, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers last Sunday and moving up to the No. 6 overall pick in the upcoming NFL draft. That victory, while promising, also raises questions about how aggressive Cleveland will be in improving their roster, especially at the quarterback position. In the past, Cleveland fans have been eager to see a new face under center, whether that's through the draft or free agency. The draft class includes some intriguing prospects like Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore. However, given the team's current situation, it's unlikely they'll land in the range to pick either of those guys, especially after their recent win. That leaves the Browns in a tricky spot. If they don't land their preferred quarterback in the draft, they might have to consider going into 2026 with Shedeur Sanders as their starter. Sanders has shown promise, and with the right development, he could be a long-term answer. But the reality is, fans are craving stability, and that's where Watson's role comes into focus. If Cleveland does decide to stick with Watson, he'll be entering training camp as the veteran, the guy with the experience and the leadership qualities that the team needs. However, the question remains, can he bounce back from a tumultuous tenure in Cleveland? The Browns paid him big bucks and expectations are sky-high. Yet many fans have been disappointed by his inconsistency and the injuries that have kept him off the field at critical moments. Still, the coaching staff and front office might see Watson as their best shot at competing in 2026, especially if they don't land a top-tier quarterback prospect in the draft. It's a gamble, but it might be the only option that makes sense given the current landscape. The alternative, of course, is to bring in a veteran quarterback as a bridge, someone who can stabilize the position while Cleveland develops Sanders or waits for a promising rookie to develop. Names like Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, or even a reclamation project like Baker Mayfield come to mind. But that's where things get complicated. Watson's contract, which is quite hefty, essentially blocks out a lot of options. He's taking up a significant chunk of the cap space, and the team might view him as their best bet to get back to contention, even if it means playing him through his struggles. The Browns' front office, led by Andrew Berry, has been pragmatic about these decisions. often weighing the long-term picture over short-term fixes. With the draft approaching and the season wrapping up, Cleveland's focus is on how to maximize their roster's potential. The team's recent win against the Steelers was a step in the right direction, but it also underscored the need for a more consistent, reliable quarterback. If the Browns fail to land a top prospect like Mendoza or Moore, the likelihood increases that they'll go into 2026 with Watson as their starting quarterback, at least initially. That's a scenario that might frustrate some fans who want a fresh start, but it's a reality based on the current roster and salary cap constraints. The Browns have shown a willingness to be patient and strategic, and that patience might be tested in the coming months as they decide whether to revisit their quarterback plans or stick with what they've got. Of course, this entire situation is also influenced by the team's long-term vision. If Cleveland's ownership and management are content to punt on the 2026 season and wait for Watson's contract to expire, they might even consider holding on to Sanders and giving him a shot at leading the team. Or they might look to add a veteran as a stopgap, someone who can help develop Sanders and provide stability. The coaching staff's philosophy will be crucial here. They will have to weigh the pros and cons of starting Watson again or giving Sanders a real shot to prove himself. The decision will be shaped by a combination of performance, health, and the team's overall strategy. Looking at the bigger picture, Cleveland fans have been through a roller coaster over the past few years. From the highs of playoff runs to the lows of injuries and off-field issues, it's been a wild ride. But there's hope on the horizon. The Browns have a talented defense, a solid running game led by Nick Chubb, and a coaching staff that's been building something special. The question mark remains at quarterback, and that's where all eyes are focused right now. Whether the team trades for a veteran, develops Sanders, or sticks with Watson, one thing is clear. The Browns are in a crucial phase of their rebuild, and every decision they make in the coming months will impact their chances of returning to the postseason and ultimately competing for a Super Bowl. Fans should be excited, but also patient. Cleveland's front office has shown in the past that they're willing to be strategic and sometimes conservative, but they also know that the window for a championship doesn't stay open forever. The next few months will be telling. Will they stick with Watson and try to build around him? Will they gamble on a rookie or a veteran free agent? Or will they make a bold move in the draft to secure the future? These questions are what keep us all glued to the offseason, and trust me, the Browns' story is far from over. We're heading into an intriguing chapter, and as always, Browns fans, you should be ready for whatever comes next. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all this? Do you believe Watson can bounce back and be the guy in 2026? Or are you more optimistic about Sanders or another rookie stepping up? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. Remember, this is a team that's always striving for greatness, and your voice adds to that relentless passion. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. The offseason is just getting started, and if history has taught us anything, the Browns love to surprise us when we least expect it. So keep the faith, stay loud, and let's see what this team can do in the upcoming months. The future might be uncertain, but one thing is for sure. Browns fans are some of the most dedicated and passionate in the NFL, and we're all in this together. Let's go, Cleveland.